Today is the 14th of January. Sorry, it's a little shaky. I'm trying to figure out the day. As you can see, I'm home with my bad babies. I came home last night. It was kind of a difficult night. I guess it's because I didn't have everything set up the way I needed it to be. But today is a much better day. I did a lot of praying last night. Just for God to take this pain away. Because it is pretty powerful, this pain. Right now I'm just waiting on my PCA to get here so I can get the help. But I think I'll be fine. So overall, I stayed since my surgery, which was the 10th. I stayed from the 10th to the 13th, which was last night. I left last night, and it wasn't too bad. Or let me stop lying. It was horrible. Just the pain of my stomach. I think my surgery is different than a lot of people's surgery because I had to be opened. Nowadays, a lot of people don't have to do the open gastric bypass or even gastric sleeve. I had to do an open gastric sleeve because during my gastric sleeve, which I think they completed the surgery, or my doctor completed the surgery and then had to go back in and check things out, if I'm not mistaken that correctly. Because I do have the normal holes or the laparoscopic things or incisions that people have. I also have the gallbladder removal hole. So if I'm not mistaken, they did complete the surgery, but felt that they might have nicked something, which they thought they nicked my colon. So they had to go back in and open me up to make sure that I wasn't having any issues. So I guess they were done with the gastric sleeve, finishing up the gallbladder surgery, and then that's when they felt like they nicked my colon. So they had to go back in and open me up just to do a what is it called? Open survey or open search surgery, I guess, to make sure that everything was okay. Which I'm happy that they did that. But then again, I didn't want to have to deal with that extra pain of having my body being opened. For the most part, I think I handled things really well. Being in the hospital as long as I've been, or as long as I was a difficult task. A lot of people were rude me on. A lot of the nurses, wow, you're back out and walking? A lot of them kept saying that. I mean, matter of fact, I think day of surgery, that night I was walking, even though I had an open surgery. I was doing a lot of walking up and down the hall. Some days I made it to where I wanted to make it to. Other days I wasn't able to. But I made sure I did a lot of walking. And those first few days I was there, I did a lot of walking. And the last day is when it kind of decreased, is when I not walked as much. But even though I didn't walk as much there, the last day I'm happy I didn't walk as much there because I had to do the task of making it back home. So, and I had to come home by myself. I actually had to, for the most part, I had to wait for the cab, got in the cab myself, all of that bullshit. It wasn't that difficult. It was difficult getting in and out the cab and having to do all that stuff by myself. I'm pretty sure if I would have had my PCA there, I would have been fine. But for the most part, I did okay. I'm still alive, thank God. I'm happy for just this new journey. Um, but anybody that has to have an open exploratory surgery, that's what it's called. Not exploratory sectional surgery. But exploratory surgery, they would tell you that the recovery from that is pain in the ass because it was. Um, Mine was pretty bad. Um, I guess it's more of me feeling each layer that they sutured. I have to feel each layer of that being sutured. It's a little difficult because like when you want to cough, you have to take it really easy. You got to try to cough a little at a time and still try to cough up whatever you're trying to cough up. I've had a lot of phlegm come up those first few days. It was like really thick. Now it's not as bad. I'm not coughing as much. But I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I was a smoker. And I still am a smoker. I had my first cigarette. And that first half cigarette, I think I was trying to talk, like smoking like normal, talking and shit. Man, that had me coughing really bad. But for the most part, after having that half cigarette, I kind of took it really easy. So technically, I've only had like one cigarette since surgery. I do want one, like mentally, I want one, but I'm not like craving really bad for a cigarette. Um, I feel like I'm doing really good on my fluids, which there's a few of them there. I'm still putting it in the little cups because I feel like if I don't put them in the little cups, I'm gonna over get a swallow in my mouth. So those little cups equal like three swallows or three sips. So by me knowing that I can safely drink three sips out of each of those cups without having that super bad gas pain. Um, Now mind you, when you taking pills, those three sips you have to take smaller sips because you got to think about the pills plus the sip of liquid that's going to help go down. And I wouldn't try to do no more than two pills at one time, whether they're small, medium, or large. If they're large, you shouldn't be on those pills no more anyway. Um, but if you do have a large pill, I would try to get that in chewables. If not, if you still have to take it, like I was told not to take my metformin no more because technically I'm not diabetic no more, which I think is a crock of shit. But I'm gonna still check into that. Um, but for the most part, I think I'm figuring out my pill situation. Um, I definitely have decreased the amount of pills that I'm taking, which is great for right now. Um, I think I'm almost to the point where I don't have to take as much morphine. Not quite yet though, because this pain is a pain in the ass, like literally a pain in the ass, stomach pain and everything. But for the most part, I'm looking at my liquids. My mouth is super dry right now, so that reminds me I'm gonna take a sip. Now, those little sips, I've been trying to take them as often as possible, so I wouldn't get dry mouth. Ooh, gas pain. So it's like I have to burp after every sip. My baby's over there talking because I'm talking to my phone. But for the most part, this is what I had all my liquids in. I filled it up with ice, and it's not no longer filled with ice because it's been out for like overnight. But I'm working my way through that cup. It's less than halfway full, so I'm happy about that. Um, and then this was kind of like my backup for me to fill that cup up with, so I can easily just like tip it in there, fill up my little cups. Um, Oops, pills knocked over. Um, but yeah, so during this time, I'm definitely wearing this, my Live Link
Carmen, you know mommy is hurt. You can't come up here. No. Why are you yelling? Last night she... Carmen, calm down. Can you calm down? No, baby. Carmen.
I'm trying to let her know that I'm not able to do what I used to do. Kramer, he's kind of staying away from me. But Carmen, she's ready for mommy to be back to normal, I guess.